Hello friends, I'm Shane Desai and today we are going to discuss about the types of communication. Actually, this is the part 2 of the video. I have covered what is communication, the meaning of communication and the definition of communication in the part 1 of this same video on the same topic. I will provide the link of that video in the description, so please go and watch that video. But in this video we are going to discuss about the types of communication. So basically there are 4 types of communication: vertical communication, horizontal communication, consensus communication, and the fourth is grapevine communication. So if the time permits, we will discuss all the 4 types in detail, or else I will also make the part 3 of this video and we will discuss 2 types today and 2 types later on. So let's start our discussion. So the first is vertical communication, and as the name suggests that this communication takes place vertically, right, in a direction of straight line from up to down or from downwards towards the upwards. So the first point says vertical communication refers to the flow of information between different levels of an organizational hierarchy. So here vertical communication takes place in any kind of organization, in any kind of institution, and it refers to the flow of information. As we discussed, that communication is the sharing of ideas, emotions, feelings, information, facts, knowledge from one person to another person in a meaningful and appropriate manner. So vertical communication takes place at different levels, and here levels means different hierarchies or different positions. For example, let's say an assistant professor is talking to the principal is talking to the registrar of the university. So these are the certain professional levels, professional hierarchies, professional positions given to the different persons, and they communicate for the betterment and for the growth of organization. So the vertical communication takes place in different levels, different positions, different hierarchies, and that is how it flows. Right. So the second point is this type of communication can be upwards from subordinates to superiors, or downwards from superiors to subordinate. Okay. So when we talk about the vertical communication, it has 2 subcategories or 2 subparts into it. The first is downward communication and the second is upward communication. Now, when we use the word downward, so the communication flows towards the direction of down. It flows towards the downside, right? So it starts from the top and it comes to the bottom. So I have given on the right hand side the diagram. I have taken it online. So that diagram shows the downward communication, and the hierarchies, the levels are given. For example, managing director, general manager, assistant general manager, right? So these are the levels, these are the positions, these are the hierarchies. So when we talk about downward communication, the communication process starts from top and it reaches to the bottom. So when managing director wants to communicate to the employees, worker, so he or she will not come directly to the employees, but what he will do, he will follow the proper channel. He will pass a message, pass an email. He will send forward an email to general manager will send it to assistant general manager, then it will come to the departmental head, then supervisor, and then at last to employees. So this is how the downward communication takes place, right, from top to bottom. So the person sitting on the highest position, highest level, will communicate to the lowest level. In the same manner, the opposite of that is upward communication. Let's say the employees or the workers are having any problem and they want some help, so they cannot directly go to the managing director. So they will first try to communicate with the supervisor. The supervisor will take the problem to the departmental head. The departmental head will discuss the same problem with assistant general manager, then general manager, and then it will reach to the managing director, and then again managing director will try to sort out the problem, or he will give a solution. So this is how the upward communication looks, and this is how it takes place in an organization. So in vertical communication there are 2 types. First is downward communication and second is upward communication, right? And the third point says It is essential for the effective functioning of an organization as it ensures the directives, feedbacks, and information are appropriately conveyed through the hierarchy. So this is a kind of effective manner that how the communication should be channelized. It should reach to the appropriate person to meet the targets, to meet the goals, to achieve the targets, and to solve, to work efficiently, to grow the organizational efficiency. So this vertical communication, and that too downward and upward communication, is needed, right, to pass the message to the appropriate person. So that is why it is important. So now let's move to the next page. So the purpose of upward and downward communication. So the first point says, now we'll see that why this channelizing of communication, or why this type of communication is needed. Why is it very much important in an organization? First point, the purpose of downward communication is to give instructions, provide feedbacks, announce policies and procedures, and communicate organizational goals and strategies, right? So it is very much clear, as we say, that if the person sitting on the highest authority want to pass certain instructions, provide feedbacks, or to make certain policy which are beneficial for the employees of the firm, so that is how the person of the highest authority will pass the message through the certain levels, right? So it is very much important. And we will there is also the example, for example, a CEO sending an email to all the employees about a new company policy, a manager giving instruction to their team on how to handle a specific task, or a supervisor conducting an annual performance report. So this is the example that why this the purpose, why it is significant. It builds up a proper channel to communicate, and that proper channel will pass the message to the appropriate person, and that is how the team will able to work in an efficient manner, and the goal would be achieved. So that is why this particularly downward communication is very much important, and it's needed. The second point, the purpose of the upward communication is to provide feedback, report progress, convey problems and suggestions, and ensure that the higher level managers are aware of the issues and concerns of their subordinates, right? So this is upward communication flows from bottom to the top. So if the person is having any problem, they want to provide any feedback, they want to show the report, they want to show their progress, or they are having any problem, so they will communicate through this channel towards upward, right, towards the higher authority, so that their issue can be resolved, their work can be noticed, and then if they are having any problem, if they are having any demand, then it could be met. So that is why upward communication is important. And so both downward and upward communication types are having equal importance in an organization. For example, employees submitting progress report to their managers, staff providing feedbacks through surveys, or a worker raising a concern or suggestion during a team meeting. So these are the examples of upward communication, and why this communication type is very much important in a firm or an organization. Now, okay, we will talk about the second type, that is horizontal or lateral communication. Horizontal communication is also known as lateral communication. So in the previous type, in the vertical communication, we saw that the communication took place between the people of different levels, between the people those who are having different positions, different hierarchies, different authorities, right? But here horizontal communication takes place between the people those who are at the same level, right? So first point says peer-to-peer interaction among colleagues or friends at the same organization. So there are certain people, there are friends, colleagues working in an organization. So when they communicate with each other, so that is what you call horizontal communication, because here there is no hierarchy. Peers or colleagues, they are having the same professional position. They are at the same hierarchical level, you can say. So that is what creates a horizontal communication. Here no hierarchy is involved. Either it could be one colleague talking to another colleague, or one manager. You can say, if we talk about the the position, the authority. It could be colleague, it could be friends, but also you can say that one manager talking to another manager. Here that takes place the horizontal communication, because both are having the same position, right? No one is having any higher authority or lower authority. So horizontal communication takes place at the same level. Second is it facilitates collaboration and coordination among departments and team to achieve common goals. So when horizontal communication takes place, it could be between two departments. So it facilitates collaboration. Two departments can come together, two people from different department can come together, and they could collaborate on the same thing, and that is how they can achieve the common goal, right? So this is also very much important. Third point, it promotes sharing information, ideas and feedbacks across different units or functions. So if there are certain information, certain ideas, certain facts, certain instructions which needs to be given to all the departments, so horizontal communication allows this ideas and feedbacks to pass very easily and very smoothly among different people and different people of different department. So fourth point is enhance the problem solving skills among the team members. Okay, so when let's say if you have any problem or any doubt, so if one person feels little bit hesitant to go to the higher authority and discuss the problem or the doubt, but in horizontal communication, if you are discussing the same problem, same issue, or if you need any kind of help, then your colleague can help you. So horizontal communication at the same level, same people of the same level increases problem solving skills, and it also shows a kind of empathy and sympathy as well, right? So it is a good thing to have a horizontal communication in an organization. So the last point is it is more speedy and efficient than vertical communication as it reduces the layers. Yes. So when we talk about the vertical communication, it is time consuming because you have to follow the proper channel, proper format, proper hierarchy. But here you can freely and openly discuss with the people, those who are on the same level. So you will immediately get the feedback. So it is less time consuming because it reduces level, reduces positions, reduces certain hierarchies, right? So this was about horizontal or lateral communication. Now we will see the challenges of horizontal communication. We find that the horizontal communication is good, but all types of communication has its own pros and cons. So first is lack of clarity. Without a definite hierarchical structure, messages can be ambiguous and misunderstood. Okay. So if there are, certain instructions, feedback, suggestions passed from the higher authority, but when it is discussed among the peers, among the colleagues, so there are chances that the messages can be ambiguous, it can be misunderstood. The exact message, the exact feedback may not be passed to the other person. So there arises the lack of clarity. So in horizontal communication, when there is no hierarchy, when there is no authority, it may, I'm not telling that it may happen always, but at times there may create lack of clarity in the interpretation of message or providing the feedback. The second is conflict and competition. So peers may compete for resources, recognition and promotion. Okay. So here when you communicate, when you share ideas, when you share your feelings and emotions, information, here a kind of competition takes place because all the members with whom you are communicating are at the same level. So they also demand resources, they also demand recognition, promotions. So here there is a chance that it may arise conflict or competition, and there may have this sense of jealousy as well, which also arises conflict and competition, right? So this is the second limitation, second challenge in horizontal communication. The third is overload of communication. With multiple peers, there can be overwhelming volume of messages, making it harder to filter. Okay. In the same manner, it also creates lack of clarity. When the message is passed from the higher authority to the lower one, there are chances that the message is filterized, the message has been passed from various minds, from various people. So this overloading, this creation of overwhelming volume of messages creates the authenticity. It also challenges the authenticity of the message, because you never know, what message has been passed from, what exact message has been passed from the person, and until it comes to you, you never know that it is the same message, it is the authenticate message. So overload of communication also results into the lack of clarity. Right, point D, fourth point, inconsistent information. Due to the involvement of various departments, there can be varying information. Okay, this point is resembling the above point, because there are various other people, various other departments involved. So again, the authenticity is been questioned, right? The E point, fifth point, cultural difference. People from different culture or background may face difficulty in decoding the message. Okay, in horizontal communication, at times there can be in organization one may face multiculturalism, right? So the people, certain people or some individuals would not be from the same culture, from the same town, or from the same state. Maybe they have migrated from other region. So at times there could be cultural barriers, that could be linguistic barriers. So this also arises difficulty in understanding the message, in understanding or decoding or interpreting the message, which also creates a lack of clarity and lack of understanding the actual message. The last is lack of accountability. Without a clear authoritative structure, it can be challenging to hold an individual responsible for any mishap. Okay, so in vertical communication, there are certain level messages passed from certain levels. So if something happens, if there is something mishap or any problem takes place, so there is a definite person who is looking after that. So that person would be accountable, responsible for that thing. But here in horizontal communication, there is no hierarchy, there is no higher authority. If any mistake takes place, any mishap happens, then no one would take responsibility for that. So here the effectiveness would be compromised. So these are the challenges of horizontal communication, and let's keep these two types in this video. In part 3 of the video, we will discuss the other two types. So thank you for watching my video and stay tuned.